holiday schedule. And that meeting has been changed to the, what's the date on that?
Thursday?
It's on Thursday, the 21st.
Thank you.
Is there any public comments? Yes.
Bobby, I have a question. Have you, I don't think you have received the audits yet that you were waiting on, the results of the audits? And if so, is it conceivable that that could affect your, looking at your budget?
Well, it possibly could. Yes, we're in the process of contacting her. I met with Tyler and Angie, and we're in the process of contacting her to get the information we need, so. That's actually about all I can say right now. We're in the process of moving forward.
Okay.
Yes.
Bobby, I'm just curious on something that Ron Gardner brought up on the cemeteries. And Kevin brought up that there was a program at one time, he was getting $12,000 a year, or he had $12,000 in his budget for it. And I still don't understand under a sunny side, you know, you've got over $1 million, and I understand that that money is really helping us being in the bank. But I don't understand where $50,000 can come out of that account and provide $12,000 per se, where he could have used that $50,000 for 4 years for all the cemeteries in the county. If it took $12,000 a year. And $50,000 wouldn't even make a dent in $1 million. So I know you don't want to drain out of that account, but then again, in the other sense, when it's such a small amount compared to the amount I'm talking about, I don't see where it would hurt it. It would benefit the whole county, just not part, the whole county. Then you would solve a problem that might help solve a problem. So I just want to throw that out there, and I just can hope that prove me wrong.
There's, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing too with that, and I was talking to Kevin about that, is I'd really like to work out, because there's another part of it that not all, but a lot of these cemeteries are on private property, and I really would like to know the legality of, can we do that as a county entity on private property? Now, I know some of them aren't. Some of them, you know, like in other places, I know they have a cemetery board or something like that, and I understand those. And but before we go in, and I think it's great, you know, that we were taking care of them, and I would love to do it again, because I think that just showing the respect that needs to be done to these cemeteries. But I don't know, Kevin, you might be able to answer this, if we can do those. I mean, I don't know. Because like I say, there's a ton of them. You guys know as well as anybody, there's a lot of these little cemeteries around, and I'd love to take care of them, but a lot of them are sitting on private property.
Most of them.
So I don't know where we stand there.
Is there a list of them, Kevin, that you
Yes.
had?
Yeah, Kevin knows about where,
I know, but was there a certain list that he could go to, he knew that wasn't private, that he knew he was gonna take care of it?
We pretty much took our list and anything that we could find. Some of them are so far gone we couldn't even find them. Literally, these guys would be walking through the woods trying to locate them. But some of them, the property owners were very cooperative. They let us drive through their pasture to get to them, whatever. Some of them, the people would just tell us, we would rather you not even mess with them. And so we left those alone. And the money, or the conversation keeps coming up that the highway department was given this money, this $12,000. That was never the case. This was $12,000 that was in the county general fund that the highway department administered. We would bill whatever bill to that fund, it was always the county's money, never the highway department's. And we just did it for them. And to say that these are mostly, I'd say 90% of the ones that we are maintaining are on private property. The old cemetery boards and things like that were, again, 90+% of them are defunct. They're just gone. There are some cemeteries on Forest Service property, and we have never gone on the Forest Service property and taken a chainsaw and start cutting trees. You can imagine what we could get into on that. And so we have over 100 that we located and took care of that were not on Forest Service property. And so, you know, the $12,000, it was a good expenditure, but, you know, it's about priorities. Where are the county's priorities? Is it in providing ambulance service, sheriff's department, and transportation, or is it in maintaining a historical piece of what's here? You know, and so that's kind of my position.
You know, and the treasurer brought up a suggestion at the last meeting, which I think is a very good one. As a matter of fact, I was going to approach the Clear Creek Baptist Association and see if, you know, the churches could, you know, adopt cemeteries to take care of. And I was going to talk to the director there to see if that would be a possibility. But again, it costs money. You know, it's going to cost money to do it. But I just didn't know where we stood, Kevin, on the private property issue. And of course, then state forest, and that's a whole conversation.
Forest is a whole
different thing.
different ballgame, but on the private property issue, basically, we were entering the private properties with permission. And, you know, we never had a written form or anything like that. We were pecking on doors and, do you mind if we go mow this cemetery? And most of them were in favor of it.
Yeah. Since that was brought up in the last meeting, I thought about it, and I would love to take care of it. And maybe we can work out something, Todd, to look into that, but I would like to look at the legal end of it on the private property, if we can, you know, to do that. And then, of course, the second thing would be the expense. So, I mean, yeah, we'll definitely look into it. I think it's something that I would like to see done, but I don't know if it's feasible. So,
You know, it's definitely needed. Everyone goes up New 51, and before you get to the Lower Cobbin Road, if you look to the right up in that field, Ridge Cemetery sits there, and you can see how it's grown up. Kevin,
The last year of the program, we took that cemetery back. I mean, we took the automobile out of it, we took it back. And like you said, Bob, you can drive up through there now, and you can already see that automobile. You give that stuff 2 years' time, and we've got a job ahead of us. We take these things back over.
and there used to be private citizens that would do it. Like I know that a friend of mine took care of Toledo for a while, and then it just got to be too much. And I guess that one's growing up now too.
It's hit and miss. There's some of them I'll drive by, I'm like, man, that's really getting in bad shape, and I'll go by a week later and it's mowed. And so, you know, there are people from the community that are stepping up, and, you know, we might, for the county, just, when I state we had an adopt a highway program. People would go in and they would adopt a section of highway for a mile long, and they would put up a sign alongside the road that said, this thing maintained by the family of so-and-so. You know, it was kind of a memorial thing, and we might want to look into something like that, and maybe doing an adopt a cemetery program. Put up a small sign in the cemetery that says this cemetery maintained by the family of.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I'm not volunteering to administer that program.
That's the way I heard it.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute.
I know we have a lot of farmers that help with mowing. A lot of times going from field to field or farm to farm, they'll just start mowing, you know, and we appreciate that. You know, so a lot of people are donating and helping, you know, if we can just get everybody pointed in the right direction.
We'll definitely look into it, Todd.
Yes.
Sherry for doing the community garden to help the
Yes,
food pantry. That has helped an awful lot.
yes, it has.
We're fortunate to have that.
A lot of fresh vegetables and, yeah, very good start to a program, and we do appreciate that.
It was a pleasure to do. I mean, when you bring the food sometimes from, either from our gardens that we have there or from the farmer's market, that they've donated well over 200 pounds of produce a week. But when you're bringing it there, when the recipients of the food pantry are there, they're literally trying to grab it out before we weigh it, and it's such a great experience. Yeah, I mean, we'd like to get more people involved in that community garden, because it's fantastic to do what we get. So it's well worth it.
Thank you. Do garden county officers have anything they'd like to say? Tiffany, we appreciate the money.
Yes, we do.
Come back again next week.
About drain, almost 30,000, so.
I'm headed to Columbia Monday morning, and we're gonna go through all the plans. The truck is almost done. We have a firm delivery date of January the 4th. I'll return and wrap things up and sign paperwork and be bringing it home so that we can start the inspection process on this end. But pictures have come in and they've done a wonderful job. And everything we've asked for, extremely responsive. It's refreshing to work with somebody that wants to work with us. So
Good.
this has been a good experience. I think the county's going to be very proud to see what they're investing in. So,
You say you have to get a cattle guard for it?
yes, yes.
Do we get that locally? I mean, do we do that ourselves?
I'm looking into it right now. I'm talking to Chris Marshall, who is part of Osage, and then I'm reaching out and looking locally as well to see which is going to be less expensive. So I've got to make that decision in the next few weeks.
Okay.
Have you already started the process as far as selling the other one, as far as contacting anyone?
I have not, because when we get this unit back to Union County, we have 4 inspections it has to go through. And it will take me somewhere between a month and 6 weeks to make sure titles are shipped off, ownership is all changed, supplies going on, there have to be a DOT inspection, 2 public health inspections, and it takes about 6 weeks to
Right.
get it on the road. So in the meantime, we would then hopefully at the 1st of January sometime declare this other one surplus. We do have 2 counties that have contacted me showing interest in the unit.
That was my question.
Yes, yes, I've had 2 conversations with 2 different county officials. So I told them that we would have to go through the normal process, declare this as surplus property, that I needed to speak with the board to find out what we felt like a fair minimum value on this unit would be, and proceed from there and let them bid.
Yeah. Yep.
Very good. Does anybody else have anything? Tyler?
We just continue to be very busy in our office. We will have the most felonies this year that we've ever filed, so it's been very busy. But everything's going pretty smoothly. So.
I do have one item for executive session, under employees.
I make a motion, we go into executive session for employee discussion.
Second.
We also want to discuss collective bargaining briefly.
Okay. And collective bargaining.
Commissioner Feller?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster?
Yes.
Commissioner Feller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartline?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go.
Remember, we have a flag raising ceremony at 11 out in front.
We're in the process and what I expect to happen. And he's pushing for a process.